Now, the United Nations Security Council has voted in favor of a U.S. drafted resolution.
Now, this resolution endorses Donald Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza. Included in the plan is the establishment of an international stabilization force, ISF, and a path to a future Palestinian state. Now, there were 13 votes in favor of the text, with only Russia and China abstaining, no vetoes.
Now, Trump posted on social media that the vote, which he said acknowledges and endorses the Board of Peace chaired by him, will go down as one of the biggest approvals in the history of UN. He said it will lead to further peace all over the world.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN Mike Waltz said that after the vote, the resolution represents another significant step that will enable Gaza to prosper and an environment that will allow Israel to live in security.
Now, the text, which was revised several times as a result of high-stakes negotiations, authorizes the creation of ISF that would work with Israel and Egypt and newly trained Palestinian police to help secure border areas and demilitarize the Gaza Strip. The ISF is mandated to work on the permanent decommissioning of weapons from non-state armed groups, protecting civilians and securing humanitarian aid corridors.
Hamas, which is excluded by the resolution from any governance role in Gaza, said that the resolution did not meet Palestinians' political and humanitarian demands and rights. And the group reasoned that aligning the international force with tasks and roles inside Gaza, including disarming the resistance, strips it of its neutrality and turns it into a party to the conflict in favor of the occupation.
The resolution also authorizes the formation of a Board of Peace, a transitional governing body for Gaza, which Trump would chair with a mandate until the end of 2027. It also raises the possibility of a Palestinian state, something Israel strongly opposes.
The text says once the Palestinian Authority has carried out requested reforms and the rebuilding of Gaza is underway, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood. A path to future statehood was included following pressure from key Arab states. It also calls for the resumptions of humanitarian aid deliveries at scale through UN, ICRC and Red Crescent.
And this is the resolution that has been passed. And of course, it approves Trump's 20-point peace plan. Of course, we have to see how it all evolves on the ground. But so far, we do see some ceasefire there. Israel is still attacking some Hamas outlets, as they call it. But we, of course, have to say how that all goes.
Till now, it has sustained in some degree, but the international stabilization force, what will that mean for the Gaza Strip?
Absolutely.
That's something that we will need to wait and watch, because that's a tricky subject. Who all are going to be the stakeholders there? It's going to be helmed by Trump. Does that mean US eventually has full control of the Strip? And it's paving the path for Palestinian statehood, which has always been, and it still seems to be, a red line for Israel.
A sticking point, absolutely.
Netanyahu very recently also said that
that's
they do not agree to it.
Absolutely.
So what's the future of this kind of a resolution?
Now, what's the future for Hamas as well? I mean, they have, of course, not said anything about disarmament yet. So, of course, how does that evolve when these forces come in and Palestinian police is there? So what is the role of Hamas? Of course, that's a question we have to, of course, talk about. And of course, we'll have to, it is yet to see how this whole plan formalizes on the ground.
The latest we have for you is that the United Nations Security Council has voted in favor of a US drafted resolution.